Selamat welcome to Story Time. Today, gue bakal ceritain experience gue as a judge during the 2024 Indonesian Flesh and Blood National Championships. Apa aja sih yang terjadi selama event itu? Dan apa aja that you can look forward to the premier events that are coming up in Indonesia at the end of this year and in the following years for Flesh and Blood. Let's get right into it. Oke, jadi di tahun ini, different from previous years, I did not participate as a player. I was actually a judge, which is really interesting. It's a very different experience. Lo bisa daftar jadi judge today. It's on the Flesh and Blood website. You can find the link in the description below. You can apply as a judge. There is a test that you need to take, both buat the rulings and also the penalty procedures and what you should do and how to enforce the penalties and how to investigate to ensure that you're giving out the correct penalties and to ensure fair and balanced gameplay, and supaya game-game yang dimainkan di turnamen-turnamen besar ini adalah great games of flesh and blood. Okay, jadi let's go a little bit before the tournament and how I applied. So, if you're a judge already, congratulations. Kalau udah level 1, ya you have access to the judge homepage thingamabob. There's a list of events that are gonna come up, and di situ biasanya terbuka untuk lo to register. So you register, you have to write in your cover letter untuk nunjukin kayak why they should pick you as a judge for that event. So I wrote my cover letter, and thankfully the tournament organizer, Geoffrey Benawar, was generous enough to give me the opportunity, even though I did not have any previous experience judging yet in Flesh and Blood. But I'm very well versed in the rulings, and I was a judge for the other TCGs that I played. I was a MTG judge, and I'm a qualified Pokemon judge as well. So my experience in the other TCGs led me the opportunity to finally judge a premier tier 3 event. So in Flesh and Blood yang kita udah pernah bahas di Organized Play, itu ada 4 tiers of events. Nationals itu di tier 3, so it's almost the top level of event. It needs to be run very properly, needs to be run very strictly, supaya it's fair and balanced for everyone, supaya tidak ada kecurangan-kecurangan atau unfair advantage yang bisa digain oleh players sama tournament. Okay, so I was thankfully selected. We made a WhatsApp group by Bli Eka, our head judge and last year's national champion. So he made a very detailed document on what to do, what to expect, the schedules, the breakdowns, karena judge nggak semuanya bakal ya keliling-keliling terus ngejudge gitu. There are different roles that the judges have. Nah itu very interesting, yang gue sebelumnya tidak tahu kalau di yang turnamen terstruktur level besar tuh yang udah terorganisir seperti itu di FAB, yang sebelumnya gue belum merasakan di TCG sebelumnya yang relatively either ya udah semuanya nge-floor judge aja, atau kayak ya udah ini satu duduk di sini buat scorekeeper, sisanya nge-floor gitu. Nggak ada segregation of duties yang super clear dan super jelas gitu. Jadi it was very interesting. Ada team deck check, ada team end of round, ada scorekeepers, ada team paper. Itu semuanya detailed very amazingly, very jelas banget harus ngapain with clarity dari dokumen yang di-provide Bli Eka. Terus the second most interesting thing that happened during judging adalah we used an application called Purple Fox. Yeah, Purple Fox. Jadi itu buat nge-manage table-table di turnamen. Karena kebetulan sebenarnya 32 tables nggak perlu pakai Purple Fox. Cuman Bli Eka and the tournament organizer thought that it would be wise untuk kita terexpose dengan Purple Fox. Jadi kalau kita ngejudge event-event yang lebih ramai, lebih besar, atau di luar negeri yang butuh pakai Purple Fox, kita udah punya pengalaman tersebut. Jadi it's very interesting. Maybe I can show you later. Yeah, so it's basically this just a web page. You see there's every table is represented by a square and the table number, and you can tap a table to mark it as either completed or tagged. For example, gue nge-tag meja ini deh, gue ngejudge di meja ini. Kalau misalnya udah end of round, tersisa only a few tables. Jadi kayak I'm gonna sit at this table. Jadi other judges yang buka aplikasinya, they can refresh and they can see, table 14 is already covered by Adia. I better go judge table 28 nih, masih merah, belum ada yang cover. Gitu. Jadi we need to ensure every table or area of tables itu covered, ada judge yang memperhatikan, jadi end of round-nya tidak terlalu lama, lewat dari 55 minutes. So that's the main gist of it. Terus itu juga bisa buat input penalties, jadi kalau ada infraction, ada yang kena warnings, ada yang kena intellect penalty 2, itu langsung ditandai di Purple Fox-nya. Jadi player A misalnya made the mistake of not ditching, jadi kita kasih penaltinya apa, terus a short description of what happened and why we arrived at that decision. Terus yang kerennya adalah throughout the rounds, kalau if you click at a player, itu nunjukin infraction mereka yang sebelumnya, jadi lebih mudah di track multiple atau repeat offense yang selama ini, gimana nge-tracknya, gimana gue tahu dia sebelumnya udah kena penalty buat looking at extra cards, soalnya itu kan bakal ya cuma caution atau warning doang kan. Tapi kalau berulang kan sebenarnya ada pattern atau kayak ada jangan-jangan intentional yang bisa nge-escalate atau nge-upgrade penaltinya menjadi lebih harsh gitu. Nah, kalau di Purple Fox kita udah round berapapun, misalnya udah di round 8, kita klik player A, kita udah bisa lihat history dia udah kena penalty apa aja. Jadi kalau kelihatan nih, dia looking at extra cards mulu, atau dia misalnya improper presenting cards error mulu, ya kita bisa upgrade penaltinya lebih gampang nge-track behavior dari situ. Okay. During the tournament, nationals, it's 3 rounds of CC, 3 rounds of draft, and then another 3 rounds of CC. Selama turnamen gak ada yang terlalu gimana-gimana, karena again, going back to the previous, itu community-nya very healthy, gak ada yang toxic PMB gitu. Jadi most players only ended up with at most like 2 infractions, ya mostly kayak warning or paling tinggi IP2. I didn't think there was any game losses that were handed out during the whole tournament. So it went pretty smooth. Time-nya agak molor sedikit during the draft portion karena unfamiliarity. Pertama mungkin dari gue juga sebagai announcer, part draftnya mungkin agak lama. Kedua, proses ngedraftnya mungkin agak confusing buat player-player baru. Terus thirdly, yang lebih confusing lagi adalah yang nge-input kartunya kayak, oke, gue nyentangnya di mana? Terus ini gue nyentangin buat punya orang lain, bukan punya gue sendiri. Terus kayak ada yang salah-salah gitu-gitu. Jadi we needed the extra time there, which ended up the tournament during the day one agak molor sedikit. Tapi overall, nationals went very smoothly. Ada 7 artis yang datang ke 8 if you count Ko Ijur yang main instead of being an artist at the artist booth, which is more than most battle hardens or callings di luar. So we're very thankful and grateful. Itu keren banget bisa ketemu sama artis-artis itu, ngelihat kayak what cards that they make. Terus kalau bawa kartunya sendiri bisa minta tanda tangan, you can order artist proofs, bisa beli playmat mereka juga yang ada tanda tangannya. Wah, so cool man. I really hope I get to meet them again at other events. So yeah, mostly kayak just mostly very fun, seru nontonin orang-orang yang kayak bottom table udah rungkat-rungkat, terus yang top table lagi kayak serius banget gitu, without the pressure of playing. It's a first for me because I'm usually in that spot kayak, aduh gue harus menang, kalau gue kalah di sini I'm out of the contention for top 8, terus pusing-pusing gitu. So being a judge was a huge relief of pressure dari performing competitively, but on the other hand, I also had the pressure to perform as a judge, ensuring I gave out the correct rulings, karena kalau gue ngasih hasil ruling atau penalti tidak sesuai, jatuhnya nanti malah yang harusnya penalti itu membuat tujuannya kan supaya kayak ada orang tidak sesuai, dia dapat unfair advantage. Tujuannya penalti itu adalah supaya balance lagi nih, tidak ada player yang mendapatkan advantage. Kalau gue memberinya penalti yang terlalu harsh, ya jadi yang tadi dia dapat advantage sedikit, gue terlalu harsh, jadinya nggak sesuai nih, dia malah disadvantage. Atau kalau misalnya dia dapat advantage yang gede, terus gue ngasih penalti tidak sesuai, terlalu light, jadinya tetap tidak balance gitu, dia tetap ada advantage-nya. Jadi it's very interesting. I think I got most of my rulings correctly dan explaining banyak juga sebenarnya. Instead of infractions yang panggil judge yang nggak perlu ada penalti, kebanyakan sebenarnya lebih banyak gue menerima pertanyaan kayak, ini kalau gue kartunya kayak gini, gue bisa gini-gini nggak ya gitu. Kayak misalnya transcend card yang plus power ke attack, gue bisa target attack musuh, atau gue bisa target attack gue yang di combat chain, di chain link sebelumnya nggak, yang kayak gitu-gitu, yang sebenarnya cuma pertanyaan. I think I got most of it correctly. Tapi yang gue belajar banget di sini adalah etiquette as a judge. Jadi walaupun playernya kan gue kenal-kenal lah ya, jadi gue terlalu santai. Jadi saat kayak sini lo gitu, ini ada yang nggak bener, nah harusnya nggak boleh seperti itu. Saat gue mengenakan baju judge, gue perform as a judge, gue harus formal dan kayak harus sorry, player A boleh kesini dulu, terus ajak ngomong privately, karena saat gue mendiscuss infraction atau itu secara publicly, orang lain jadi tahu dia terkena penalti itu bisa jadi bad reputation for the player yang unintended. Jadi kayak ada hal-hal yang etiquette itu penting banget. That's what I learned. Itu dikoreksi sama Bli Eka like two or three times. So I got it after that. The worst penalty that I gave out was during the top 8 deck check to Azov Surya. Sadly, kayak deck checknya didn't pass, so I had to give an IP2, but he played still really well. Congrats on Azov's performance on the nationals, and he actually won the ProQuest Plus. So ya, jadi nggak rungkat-rungkat amat lah ya, udah top 8 nuts terus masih juara PQ Plus, keren banget. Overall 2 hari itu smooth, selain malamnya balik dari day one, wah caur banget itu gara-gara ulang tahun Jakarta. Nyesel gue bawa mobil tau gitu, gue kayak naik kereta aja coy. Itu freaking gue berangkat tuh 45 minutes dari where I live di Bintaro. It took me like 2 hours to get back. Dan kayak sampai rumah cuma ganti baju, geletak tempat tidur, bangun, kayak mandi, kayak bangun, mandi, langsung berangkat lagi. Terus the next day, fuck it, gue takut kan kemarin sebenarnya H-1 ulang tahun Jakarta ada di day 2-nya sebenarnya. Terus ya udah, I'll use the train, I won't use the car anymore. Terus ternyata lancar. Tahu gitu kebalik, harusnya day 1 yang gue pakai kereta, day 2 yang gue bawa mobil. But oh well, we live and we learn. Hopefully kalau tahun depan sejajar lagi dengan ulang tahun Jakarta, either ya gue sudah belajar, atau 2 ya mungkin eventnya tidak di Jakarta untuk Nationals tahun depan, siapa tahu Surabaya or Bali, who knows. But yeah, overall keren banget the performance of all the players, especially the top 8 players. Tahun lalu was Bali dominance, 4 out of 8 was Bali, and they only sent like 10 players. Tahun ini, no Bali players in the top 8 of nationals, karena mereka kebetulan juga cuma ngirim 3 orang, karena mepet dengan Battle Hardened Bali. I understand, it's very costly untuk naik pesawat ke sini dan bayar the entry fee if you're not already qualified through RTN. So yeah, this year was Jabodetabek's year, with all the players in the top 8 being from Jabodetabek. So congrats to all the top 8 players, especially to Julio Antoni, our new 2024 Indonesia national champion, and Azuf Surya, the ProQuest Plus champion dari event tersebut. So overall, nggak ada yang terlalu gimana-gimana banget. The event seru, makin rame, a lot of new faces, TO-nya caur banget, keren. Geoffrey Benawar eventnya lancar, venue-nya bagus, beli-beli. Thank you lagi ke Julio. So yeah, really hoping Nats next year bisa lebih rame, maybe 96 capacity. Terus hopefully jumlah artisnya at least the same. More players, maybe next year I'll be playing, I won't be judging, we'll see. Tergantung hero yang lagi available apa, and if I feel confident or not, and ya tergantung, who knows, tahun depan kalau kalian pada daftar jadi judge, mungkin kalian yang kepilih. Gue bisa aja gue daftar terus nggak kepilih, karena you need to submit the cover letter, you need to submit why you want to be a judge there. As a judge in Flesh and Blood, you get compensated really well. I got the adjudicator playmat, gue lupa namanya siapa, but pictures here. I got the playmats, playmat, only one, and a sleeve, the Herald of Judgment sleeve, really cool. Not gonna sell it, I'm gonna use it myself. Judge Pack Season 4. Nah itu akhirnya I decided against my tangan bau, and yaudah deh brewek, cause it's my first ever Judge Pack. You're gonna see it in the next section of the video. And lastly, I got 2 boxes a day judging the event. Jadi lumayan. Gue not a huge brewek guy. I'm more of a singles guy because I'm limited budget and more competitive. I don't play a lot of classes, I only play Ninja and Wizard. So kalau selain dari 2 itu kayak, and I have a trouble of selling cards, jadi kayak kalau ya udah di rumah gitu, kartunya males atau lupa atau kayak it's too much of a hassle buat dijual, ujung-ujungnya kayak ya udah mengendap di rumah padahal it's not gonna get used. So I prefer buying singles, but getting 2 whole boxes a day was great. It's really, I feel really rewarded. Sebelum ini gue ngejudge di TCG lain kayak, oh ya ini promo khusus judge, atau kayak yang which is just the same promo as players, tapi kayak you get a little bit more. Tapi kalau ini, it's actually promo khusus judge is the judge pack, and you get boxes as well. So it's really awesome. I really highly encourage, even for those of you yang nggak mau ngejudge, kalian yang kayak, tapi gue pengennya kompetitif buat play. Yeah, learning the rulings, learning how cards work, learning all about the steps and checks and priority and all the shenanigans and layers in the game will help you become a better player. So I highly suggest and recommend for all of you to at least take the level 0 and the level 1 judge test for the card ruling section. That's it for the national story time. Next section will be the video of me breweking the judge pack. Let's see what I get. Fingers crossed. And finally, talking about premiere events, there's a little bit of something that I've prepared with your local LGS in Jabodetabek. So sorry for Surabaya players and Bali players, but there's a little something that I've prepared that's in relation to another premiere event in that's coming up in Indonesia, wink wink. So just be ready to hear the announcement. It'll be on Tuesday. So keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open. You're gonna hear something special about that very soon. So that's it for this section of the video, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Watch my judge pack opening if you want to comment on that. You can guess right now, type right now what you think I will get from my judge pack. And as always, sampai goodbye. Oke, jadi sekarang gue mau buka judge pack-nya, hasil ngejudge kemarin. Ini isinya ada 6 kartu berbeda yang bisa didapat. Ada Brutus, yaitu weapon hero apalah itu pokoknya agak ya adjudicator. Terus ada weaponnya, terus ada Nourishing Emptiness, Shimmers of Silver, apalagi Memorial Ground, satu lagi apa ya? Lupa. Pokoknya kurang happy lah.
Proclamation ya?
Iya, pokoknya kan Brutus weapon itu kan rungkat 2 yang agak sedih.
Dulu tarik itu dulu.
Enggak, bukan.
Memorial Ground kan.
Memorial Ground kayak jadi kan 2 rungkat
Zealous
banget.
Belting.
Zealous Belting ya. Ini 2 Zealous Belting, Nourishing, Shimmers sama Memorial. Gue pengen dapatnya either Nourishing, Shimmer atau Zealous. Mari kita lihat apakah kita bisa dapat. Nih jadi Judge Pack Season 4. Jadi ada season-seasonnya, isinya bakal beda-beda tergantung kapan lo ngejudge. Jadi nggak harus jago. Kalau kayak nggak pede, low confident bisa jadi judge. Tapi harus berilmu juga ya. Oke, ini dia. Ada 2 kartu, satunya selalu IP. Yang IP yang depan apa yang belakang?
Depan.
Iya sih yang depan.
Depan lah.
Banting aja lah ya. 1, 2, 3. Go! Memorial Ground.
Merah lagi Memorial
Oke lah, sama. Jadi dapat Memorial Ground Cold Foil sama kartu Intellect Penalty. Nah ini. Mantapnya gimana cuy? Cold Foil. WTS ya guys ya. Ya kurang lebih begitu, experience nggak buka pack, bisa cuan, bisa B aja, bisa rungkat, bisa dijual segel juga kalau yang tidak berani gacha. Terima kasih.